Welcome to the Bird Cave, where you need two things. You need one of these, and I know a little something about this. Grab your brew, come on in and talk to the fellas. Let's go. What is going on, people? We are one week closer to the NFL draft, and man, we got some shit to talk about, bro.
Yes,
we had an interview on the Pat McAfee show that I want to hit. We got our top 5 needs / what should the Steelers do with with these 5 picks in the first 99, I believe, and then we're going back old school. We're going to do some historical Pittsburgh Steelers draft themes of what if. I got a scenario. GB's got a scenario. They kind of overlap with each other, and I believe this is going to start some really, really great conversations. But before that, and before we pay adieu to our sponsor, GB has a special shout at that he wants to hit. So, GB, the floor is yours, sir. First off, how are you doing this evening? And then the floor is yours.
I'm doing wonderful. Doing absolutely wonderful. I want to give a special shout out to 2 people. Okay, well, actually 2 things. Number one, we'll give a special shout out to the jackass who decided to hack my my Twitter page. You're a jackass, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. As you can see, I quickly just do what we do, called an audible, and moved on with my life. You can now reach me at your_boy_GB1. As you can see, you don't see anything that says of the Yinzers anymore. That's because it's just your boy GB. You know what I mean? Like we're growing up and stuff. So
yes, sir. Growing the hell up, man. Growing the hell up a little bit.
Up, right? But enough with that. But yeah, so shout out to that one. And then the second one is I want to give a shout out to the Willie Thrower Foundation awards luncheon that I attended on Saturday, which was absolutely incredible. Shout out to all of the finalists from all the quarterback finalists. They all did a tremendous job. We had a representative from the Avonworth Lopes, Carson Bellinger, my homie from way back. Great dude, man. I always say Moxie is his superpower, and he's had a tremendous season. It was good to see him up there with some other highly, highly talented guys. The winner of the award was Nolan DeLucia from Peters Township, an absolute stud. Like, I don't know if you've watched any Peters Township games. Nolan DeLucia and Rustin Lehman were just absolute animals all year. And he just led that team, and that man can spin it, man. He's so freaking good. He's actually already in spring practice at Villanova, which I think is really dope. He came back just for the awards. This dude really came back just to come to New Ken. How cool is that?
Right? Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Not too many people just come back to go to New Ken, you know. So that's good to see that New Ken is up and coming. I got to see the city a little bit, you know, because it was down in the Need Community Center. Right. Shout out to New Ken. They trying to upgrade it a little bit, moving on up like the Jeffersons. But man, Melvin Thrower, my dude, my homie from way, way, way back, invited me and my son Braylon to the luncheon and the awards luncheon. Man, it was such a great time. It was so well put together. Anybody who's anybody in the AK Valley was there. Amongst others, it was just a great opportunity, and it's a great way to celebrate Mr. Willie Thrower as well. A lot of people don't even realize Willie Thrower is from our hometown of New Kensington. We've known about Willie Thrower for a long time. Grew up with his sons, right? Got to see Jason and Will as well. while I was there too. But yeah, just like I said, overall a good time. And for those who don't know, Willie Thrower was the first African American quarterback to actually have a snap, the first snap ever as an African American quarterback in the NFL, right? Which is absolutely incredible. Did you know that Valley Ken High won back-to-back WPIAL championships in 46 and 47, I think it was, and then they were runners up. And they were runners up in another year. Like they won 2 out of 3 years, and it was the Willie Thrower years. And then Willie Thrower went to Michigan State after that, and then got drafted by Chicago.
Yeah, well, I didn't know all of that, but I knew about. I knew it was in the 40s sometimes too. The 40s with the back-to-back chips back then. And but listen, I don't want to give GB. You did obviously a fantastic job calling out and shouting out the Willie Thrower Foundation stuff. And if you guys ever want to have a short little 15-20 minute conversation about the history of the Willie Thrower Foundation, if you go on to the Man Cave Conversations on the Bird Cave YouTube channel, and you'll see GB and I, along with Melvin Thrower and others, on stage actually talking about that. So he gives some perspective of how the foundation was formed. It's a little history about it and expands on the history of his grandfather. He just talked about the first black quarterback taking snaps in the NFL. It's just a really cool, and you get the goosebumps when you hear how that foundation was formed, because he's still taking and giving forward and paying forward to young athletes, from all backgrounds, and a nice award and a very, very big honor for high school athletes. And it's just a really cool story. And obviously, it honors our hometown of New Kensington, PA, which, is a little hidden gem, if you will,
absolutely,
in Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So before we get started tonight, like I said, we're going to talk Mike McCarthy's interview with Pat McAfee, and I hate to be I told you so for 2 years in a row, but I told you so. And then we're going to talk the top 5 Steeler draft needs, what they should do with the top 5 picks, and then GB and I each have a draft history what if. But before we get started, as always, we want to pay homage to our sponsor, Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill. It's a celebration. 81110 Steubenville Pike in Imperial. A great, great dive bar if you guys are in the Pittsburgh area. And actually, if anybody's watching that's out of town, that's coming in for the draft, you're coming in through the airport, so you're going to be kind of close. Look up Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill. Give them a call at 724-695-4333. Tell them, hey, listen, I heard about you guys on the Bird Cave. I want to check this out. Grab some wings, some celebration rolls, and they always got pretty cool draft selection as well with your staples of Miller Lights and such. And then they always have some great IPA. So go see my man Alex and Laura at Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill. Now, I don't know who saw the Yinzer y'all, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. GB saying awesome stuff about the story there. It's good stuff. Yinzer y'all, trust me, it's a really good thing. Like I said, go back and check out that conversation in the archives there. Today, Mike McCarthy was on with Pat McAfee. They're down at the competition committee meetings or coaches meetings or some sort. And by the way, shout out to Sean McVay giving the little story about Mike T, how Mike T was the leader of the swimming pool drink session with the coaches he let out. He said that Mike T always got the guys together, started some stories. He goes, they're going to miss Mike T among other things. But it was the reason why he was excited to get on the competition committee, talking about Sean McVay, to get closer to know Mike T. And it just shows you that he is going to be missed. Maybe not in Pittsburgh right away, but the man's going to be missed in the NFL. And I do hope he does strike a TV deal. But GB, Mike McCarthy said 2 things. And the first thing I know you were talking about before we hit the air, how much he likes Michael Pittman.
Yes.
And I'll let you expound on the reasons he likes Michael Pittman. But he said they would have drafted him had they not had CeeDee Lamb fall to them with the Dallas Cowboys. But GB, what did he say that got you grinning about Michael Pittman?
He said exactly what I've been saying. which is great. It's great. Great minds think alike. We talked about how Michael Pittman has he has position flexibility. He's not just an outside guy. He can play outside and he can play inside. And that is the key, right? When you're 6'4", right?
Yeah.
And big bodied and able bodied, and you're able to go into the slot and cause problems, that makes your offense so much more diversified. And what it does is that it opens up opportunity for whatever type of receiver Mike McCarthy feels is in the best interest of the Pittsburgh Steelers is what it's going to be. So it could be a 6'5" guy. It could be a 5'11" guy. It could be a 6'2" guy. It depends, because Michael Pittman can do outside or inside. So whatever McCarthy and Brian Arlecchio, I'm gonna get his name right eventually.
We're just gonna call him Arch.
Coach Arch. Right, Coach Arch. Man, whatever they feel is going to be the right piece is that allows you to kind of pinpoint the dude that we've been talking about. When you get a dude to go with this, now you listen. It causes for explosive offense, is what it does, because it makes it more dynamic at the end of the day.
Yeah, it does, and I like the fact that there is versatility that is a foundation in this offense. I like that you can move guys in and out depending on the matchups and the schemes. And McCarthy talked about that a lot. Obviously, it's very high level when you're talking to the media, but he talked about that, about, whatever we are presented on the defensive front, we can make adjustments. We have guys that are flexible with this, and with McCarthy being the one calling the plays. And let's read between the lines a little bit too. There's going to be a little bit of hometown pride in these play calling duties that McCarthy has, right? He's going to want to do something a little bit certain what type of way with this offense, and having the versatility of DK and Pittman, maybe Roman Wilson, and then one of the needs, which we'll get to here in those top 5 of the 99 picks. You never know who else is going to come into the fold here and actually be a part of the offensive aerial attack. And then heaven forbids use Freiermuth in Washington too. So, and it's going to be something to see that we, for the first time in a long time, really since Todd Haley, that the Steelers have a true offensive guru on this coaching staff. And it's going to be pretty good. I'm just sitting there thinking, could you imagine that one of the worst playoff losses you witnessed in person, I've witnessed, was that 2017 team with that offense with Todd Haley. Man, imagine that team with a pretty stout defense that should be on paper a lot better. It's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be pretty exciting this year. And I loved hearing that about Michael Pittman. But the I told you so, and all 16,417 comments I put on the Twitters that I've heard about Aaron Rodgers, I think it's up to like over 17,000 now. Every day people are posting the same thing. As I was saying, it's kind of like that whole Bigfoot documentary. Hey, we got new evidence. By the end of the show, yeah, we're still looking. There's nothing new, right? He revealed, just like last year, he has weekly conversations with Aaron Rodgers. Now, we get it. We don't know if he's going to come back. He may retire. But the way that he said we've had weekly positive conversations, he's not only talking to McCarthy, he said he's talking to the coaching staff. And they're positive conversations, and you saw a little smirk on McCarthy's face, and he gave McAfee like a little fist bump, but McAfee was kind of like, McAfee was great talking all these Yinzer terms to him too, but he was like, you're talking about these conversations with Aaron Rodgers, and he gave him that fist bump. Bro, I mean, he's coming back. Whether fans like it or not, I understand why they don't like it, because they just want to move on with the young guy. But with Aaron coming back, I think this offense takes another step, because I do think Aaron Rodgers at some point in the season was kind of handicapped by Arthur Smith's system. Because Aaron Rodgers, if anything, he's got the gun still, and they just weren't attacking down the field as much as they would with Mike McCarthy. GB, what'd you think about those comments that McCarthy said about Rodgers?
He had me at we communicate on a regular basis. That's all I need to know. I mean, we've talked about it. It's the worst kept secret in the NFL.
Just like it was last year.
That's how we looked at it. That's the way we looked at it. Like, everybody knows that it's already done. Like, I don't know why we keep pretending like like it's gonna be like, oh yeah, in a week, in a week or two, it's gonna come out that, oh yeah, in another news, breaking news, Aaron Rodgers decides he's not returning. I don't see that happening. Because if it was happening, it would have happened already, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
He wouldn't string. First of all, he wouldn't string a team along. It just to be like, no, I'm good. We're not going to do that because he respects the game too much, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's his boy. It's Mike McCarthy. Like,
that's the thing. Like last year he didn't want to. Last year he did.
All the dudes you could have picked. You picked Mike. Come on, man. You already know.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what I'm thinking is. Last year, it was the respect Aaron Rodgers had for Mike Tomlin. He wasn't going to string him along. He had those weekly conversations. Steelers didn't do anything with the quarterback position. Everyone's losing their shit. Meanwhile, they knew for a while. I think it's really the same thing because not only with Mike McCarthy, but with a lot of the other coaches that he has played for in his career. Aaron Rodgers spoke about the positive effects that Campen had on him. The offensive line coach. He spoke about how he loves Jahari Evans as a player, respected him. He's I think he even spoke about Graham, the DC. I think he made a joke like, oh, he's lost a little bit of weight. He's throwing some jabs at him. So I do think the fact that all of these coaches have come back, and Rodgers, even when he was talking about it on McAfee, even he had a look about him like excitement. And let's not forget, Rodgers was already, remember, he let it slip over in that Minnesota game over in Europe. Maybe we'll come back next year. He's already had a couple slips that he wanted to maybe play another year or so because he kind of was rejuvenated with the city of Pittsburgh and playing for the Steelers and the organization. So, listen, I'm not going to keep talking about it every week. I just wanted to bring it up because it was on McAfee. And I think it's kind of solidifying what happened last year in the fact that Rodgers is coming back. You know what? He's just doing his thing. He wants to be left alone for a while. He's got things he's got to do. And I think probably before the draft, he'll probably give an answer, whether that answer is public or not, but he'll probably let the Steelers know before the draft so they can figure out, what they're doing. So any last thoughts on that before we hit the draft?
They're still going to draft a quarterback at some point. So
you think?
Yeah, they're still going to take somebody. Dude, they're not going to take. They're still. It's going to be in day 2, day 3, but they're still going to take a flyer on somebody, bro. It's going to happen.
So that's my question, and I want to pose this to everybody that's tuning in now as well. What are you going to do with these top 5 picks? Our first question is: are you going to select 5 players, or are you going to use one of these 3 third-round picks to maneuver up to go get somebody? And if that's true, in no particular order, and this is what we want to do, because GB and I want to kind of set the table for when we do our mock drafts here in about the 13th and the 20th. We'll do 2 different scenarios in back-to-back pods, just so we know, because we're not really into doing 950 mock drafts and sharing them with everybody. Though we get it, it's fun, but we like to let things settle a little bit so we can think the most logical way of we believe the Steelers, how they should draft. GB, first question to you, and then we'll see if comments come in. Are you keeping all 5 picks? And you loading up a roster, or are you saying, you know what, if I can get 3 really good players and I sacrifice 2 of those picks, that's my play? Are you picking 5 players, or are you just packaging these to go get maybe the 3 best players or even 4 best players?
This is going to sound like a cop-out answer.
Uh-oh.
But it depends, right? Because I can see a couple different scenarios happening, right? I see a scenario where, and we've talked about it, where they could move up mortgage a couple picks to move up and get a dude, whoever they feel like is a dude, a game changer, for their team to really, take their team from 10-7 to now you thinking that you can do something with said team and the other people, right? So I could see them doing that. But what I could also see them doing, Dudek, is I could also see them moving back a little bit.
Okay.
I can see them moving back a little bit, right?
Depending how the draft in the first or in the second or what?
In the first, and hear me out. I could see them moving back a little bit and even stacking more picks so they can in day 2 and they can actually mortgage a little bit and maybe even get some future stuff in 2027 to set up for 2027 where they're going to, then probably get one of the 4. I'll put 4 out there right now. One of the top 4 quarterbacks. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so they'll move back, package a little bit more, and then maybe even in return get some for later on. Because the one thing that I feel, there's a couple of positions that are deep, right? And
there are
a couple of positions that I feel like are really good for what we need, right, are deep. So it works out. It can work out that way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam, I like Pregnon as well too. Moving up for a receiver, maybe to solidify that. Mr. Tummy was right on with the offensive line, wide receiver, QB to a point. We spoke last week about if someone's going to take a reach on Aller, if someone like the Steelers are going to take someone like Nussmeier. But, you have a wild card with a lot of teams that have multiple first-round picks, and I do think there's going to be some interesting head-scratchers of first-round picks because some of these teams like the Cardinals, I believe, the Stains, I think, have 2 picks in the first round. A couple others that, they're going to pick these guys more for the future. Jets. Oh, yeah, the Jets have 4 first-rounders. They have 2 this year, and I think 2 next year or even 3 next year.
Yeah.
You're going to see a couple of flyers being taken on some players that I don't think you don't normally see because you're going to have that extra year of control, and most notably at the quarterback position. Nussmeier, to me, is an interesting name to watch. And I think if he slips, if he is there after the Steelers pick round 2, that might be a name that you go get in round 3 or you trade a 3 to get back up into 2, maybe to get him. If you're going to make a move at quarterback, I think he's the one I would like to see, although I'm not necessarily that hype on him because I'd ask this question to everybody. It's going to piss some people off. Where's Will Howard in this year's quarterback draft? Right? That's a question, and it's a serious question because he hasn't taken any NFL snaps. That's true. Neither has any of these quarterbacks in the draft. Where is Will Howard in this year's draft? If Ohio State just won the national championship this year and he was coming out in this year's draft, where are you drafting him?
He'd be number 3.
So essentially, the Steelers drafted a quarterback this year. Now, with the bonus is he already sat a year with Aaron Rodgers and got to learn a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So you might want to do that. I'm going to give you guys my top 5 needs, position-wise, and I want to start throwing out some names out there. Right? And actually, before we do that, Yunzer Yarl comes up and says, if the board doesn't fall right, I'd be okay flipping them for extra picks for next year if they can't get a stud offensive line, safety, inside linebacker, interior D-line.
Yep.
You know what? The Steelers could be I think they make a splash somewhere because it's in their hometown, but I also think the Steelers are playing the long game, and I think that's what it's evident by some of the signings they had this year. But in no particular order, I would love to see the Pittsburgh Steelers get a wide receiver, of course, an offensive tackle, an offensive guard, inside linebacker, which I believe is going to be a sneaky first-round option, if not round 2. And then I want to see a safety or a corner just because of some short contracts and a little bit of age that they sign in the secondary.
Are you
Because you don't need them to start right away. You know what I mean?
Are you putting O-line in one as one draft pick?
No, I actually wouldn't mind seeing guard and or tackle drafted
Interior
on the left side.
O-line.
Because here's why, GB, and you made a great point last week about how the Steelers are kind of beefing up the interior line, right? With Hoffman, their confidence in Anderson, and I get that, but Hoffman's a 1-year deal, right? Spencer Anderson, he deserves a shot, but by no means, and I think you would agree, you don't hand him the job, just as you don't hand Dylan Cook the job. But if you got that dude from Penn State on there, or if you come back in the second round and get that guard from Georgia Tech, that might be too good to pass up, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I say if the right guy is there, an offensive guard, I would not be mad. But I do think tackles
Dunker,
more than guard because of their signings. But go ahead.
I like Dunker from Iowa too. Jennings Dunker.
Yeah.
He's another guy. He's available day 2. You'd have to absolutely. And is that Rutledge is from Georgia Tech?
Yes. Yeah. Rutledge is and he is a natural left guard like Suamalo was. Yep. So I think he would be he might be another plug and play guy like Vega is from Penn State. But I mean, that would just be a match made in heaven to beef up that line. If they do that early, they're definitely playing the long game because there's some receivers that you can grab later. Even though I love me some Omar Cooper Jr., but there's some depth in there. And I would love to see Rodriguez from Texas Tech as an inside linebacker because, like I said, they're not trading Patrick Queen, but he's also on his last year of his deal. So you get a young guy that plays behind him that doesn't have to play right away, and then you just let Patrick Queen walk unless he has like an all-pro year, and then you slide this guy right in. What say you? What are your top position needs, GB?
Wide receiver for sure. And man, I could go interior offensive line or tackle and be really okay. If they decided to do that in the first round, like I would not be. I'm not going to be one of these dudes and be like, oh, no. I'm like, no, trenches are important. You know what I mean? Especially when you got an old dude at quarterback.
Right.
Like that's very important. And for what you want to get done, in this game with Dowdle and Jalen Warren, like, you get yourself a stud. And I do believe like a guy like Vega is a future, all pro type of guy. He's going to be like a Quentin Nelson type of dude. What did I tell you? I said he reminds me a lot of he got a lot of Faneca in him is what he got.
Does. He does.
Like seeing him coming in on counters and stuff, like, dude. So I could see that. Okay, so interior offensive line, tackle, I could see that. And this is no particular order. Although I do like dudes, and Vega's one of those dudes. If he was at 21, I'd be sprinting to the podium to get him. Or if he's at like 17, I'm trading down to get him because we can. Like that's how I feel about that guy.
Yeah.
Wide receiver for sure. Just because it's funny because our wide receiver room is already better now. And we're like, let's get a wide receiver. Let's get one in the first round. But it's for a reason because like you just don't one of these dudes ain't gonna be here in a year between Pittman and DK. It's probably gonna be DK. DK probably gonna be here after this year, or
you think?
Yeah. I don't. One of these dudes is gonna. I don't think one of these dudes is gonna be here for more than. We may keep those two for 2 years, but I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be a long.
That's interesting.
I just the way that the tea leaves are coming. I don't know. We'll see. But wide receiver for sure. First of all, just because I want an explosive offense. Like, we've been wanting an explosive offense. Inside linebacker for sure. There's a couple dudes I feel like we can that can be had. And I'm kind of toggling right now. I'm gonna say D line. The reason why I'm gonna say D line is just because of age, and I love Cam, but Cam is what 30 what now? I don't even know. He looks better with
He'll be
age.
37.
37. Yes, he's 37, and even Sebastian Day is he's in his 30s, and he's not a long-term solution. He's just he's a 1-year guy too. So
yeah,
I could see them taking if they got somebody on their like a Daryl Jackson in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
like one of those guys, or if a Peter Wood slips at 21, they want to really do some crazy
Peter Woods
stuff.
would be very interesting. Yeah,
yeah, do some crazy stuff.
Hey.
They want to get crazy. Hey,
look at this dude. Play Bigfoot at QB. Did I miss a joke there, Harry? I'm not sure. Who's Bigfoot, bro?
Who's Bigfoot?
Who's Bigfoot?
Who's that,
or you talking about my Bigfoot stories on the Twitters? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know about that. Walt has a good comment. I'm surprised that they aren't more interested in a 2nd or 3rd round QB. Maybe there isn't anyone available. It's not necessarily availability. There's obviously going to be quarterbacks available. It's just a matter of what's going to be matched up as far as team needs go. Now, so all teams have a draft board and a score system. If a player's there at a certain position, whether it's a position of need or not, sometimes you're somewhat forced to pick them just because the value's too good. I think that's more of like your 5th, 6th, 7th round picks. But what's interesting, Walt Harris is here, is the Steelers are real. I don't know if they brought him in yet, but they went and looked at
that's
Cole
Vlad
Payton.
Harris, not Walt. Vlad.
Vlad.
W-L-A-T.
I can't read, bro. I'd say Vlad. Walt. Vlad. Who knows what some of these names? He got me. He did get me. Vlad. Bro, I just, you know what it is I look down quickly, it looks like the Willat, but all good. Sorry for getting your name wrong there, brother. Sorry about that. But Cole Payton is from North Dakota State, I believe. That's where I think. Yeah, North Dakota State. They went and looked at him. He's 6'3". I'm looking here, 6'3", 232. He's a lefty. He's got a little bit of mobility to him. Maybe they look at him, but I'm not sure. I just don't think quarterback. They're going to say they're going to look at quarterback. They're going to say they're happy with the quarterback room. They're going to say they're happy with what's in the draft. They have to, because it's a season of lies right now. But I could really see maybe they pull the plug on Cole or pull the trigger on Cole Payton. I don't know.
I could see them definitely taking a quarterback with one of their 3 third-round picks. If they keep all 3 third-round picks, I could absolutely see them taking like a Nussmeier or a, dare I say, Drew Aller or something. Even though that's not my dude, I'm just saying that's the ilk that we're talking about. In that day too. I could totally see them doing that because they have 3 third-round picks. Now, it's a matter of whether they mortgage, because that's really where the sweet spot is for them to either, to move up, right, or, move back and then and get future whatever. They have options because they have 3 third-round picks. And they have 5 of the first 99, picks. So it would make sense given their quarterback room. One's 43 and the other 2 are very mediocre. It would behoove them to, pull out another scratch off and see what you come up with. You just never know. You never know.
Yeah. And Willat was talking about Aller would be a great value in round 3. He very well may be. I think if he gets with the right coaching staff and he's allowed to sit for a little bit, you may have a diamond in the rough.
He has good arm talent.
Because he has great arm talent. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, well, I hear you too. I'm not a Penn State guy either, but talent's talent. So, if he sits for a few years, maybe you take a flyer because you have 3
This ain't got nothing to do with Penn State. This got to do with neck up.
You got neck up, correct. This is neck up. It has to do with the black and gold.
PSU, NU, neck up.
Not NU, neck up.
His neck up ability is lacking.
Right.
And he makes very, very questionable decisions.
Right.
His awareness is very low. If you put him on Madden, his awareness would be under 50. That's what we're trying to get at.
He said it would be a 44.
It would be a 47.
But yeah, Adam has a good point. If they draft a QB, they don't trust Howard. Now, keep in mind, Howard was not their draft pick, so they could easily do that. But you're very right that if they do draft a quarterback, I think in the top 3 rounds, that's a very questionable look and take on Will Howard. And we'll know very quickly what they think of Will Howard, even though they said that they like him. But we'll see.
I think it is very, 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 very fair for young quarterbacks, young running backs, and young wide receivers to be very, very leery of their position on this roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just saying, because they didn't pick them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they haven't really shown anything yet.
Yep.
So guess what? They don't have any type of – they haven't earned anything. So if they haven't earned anything, then guess what they're going to do? They're still very much an X, an unknown. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to find some dudes to compete with them to see if they're really the viable option or not, or if they can upgrade.
Yeah, and here, one other interesting thing that McCarthy said on Pat McAfee today, if you remember, is, and what Tomlin did as well, is they're not changing the defense. Graham is coming in and actually he's the one learning the Steelers system and obviously putting some of his flavors on, because he's like, if they called this, and he used a very vanilla term, but he's like, hey, if they called this a yellow, why change it to blue? It's yellow. What if they do this defensive scheme foundationally, why change it? Because this is what the team is. So I like that. I mean, I think they're going to bring their own flavor to it, but they're not going to foundationally change the defense. So I like that Graham is going to adapt to the talent and then take his talents as far as calling plays, which he's been very good at. He has a very good reputation of calling plays situationally. Obviously, he had the Raiders with zero talent outside of Max Crosby, ranked 14th last year. So I'm very, very interested in that. Well, he looks like Peyton Manning compared to Christian Hackenberg.
Christian Hackenberg was pretty damn terrible.
Yeah, and I want to bring this back up, Mr. Tom. We can't wait to see they draft a QB more so it's possible to impact Rodgers' reaction. I think drafting a QB, even if it was in the first round, I don't think has any impact on Aaron Rodgers, because if he's coming back, it is, I believe, the one last hurrah with basically the same coaching staff he had in Green Bay, or at least a mixture. And maybe I think there was some he had with the Jets as well. I think that new offensive assistant guys with the Jets, but it's kind of like a full circle moment for Rodgers if he were to come back, which I believe he is. So I do think it's a 1 year. But let's not forget Mason Rudolph is also on the last year of his 2-year deal too.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, even if they took Ty Simpson with the first round pick, right? Yeah. Ty Simpson's not going to be QB1 in 2026 unless there is an egregious injury that forces the hand of the Pittsburgh Steelers to put the keys in the future rookie quarterback, because Ty Simpson's not that guy. I don't even know if Mendoza's that guy, to be honest with you.
So there's that's what I'm saying. Mendoza is not a sure flash thing too. And you know what? And I'll address this, and then I want to go back to the quarterbacks here, because I know Orlovsky was getting a lot of shit saying that Simpson is a better quarterback than Mendoza for the NFL. And the more I think about it, he's projecting NFL traits versus what was done on film, because I told you, I don't think Ty Simpson, he's draftable, but because he only has 473 passing attempts, meaningful passing attempts, I think it's like 520 total in college, he's not ready. If he goes and he sits a little bit, he could be somewhat serviceable. He throws a good ball. I think he's going to have to go to like a warm weather or dome type team, because he doesn't have the physical prowess to play in the elements, in my opinion. But he might be a better quarterback. Nussmeier might be a better quarterback in the NFL than Mendoza. Now, Mendoza balled his ass off, because I still can't get Mendoza when he played for Cal 2 years ago and Pitt beat the shit out of him. I can't get that out of my head. He went and played for a great coach in Signetti. There was obviously a lot of talent in Indiana. And by the way, Mendoza balled his ass off. Props to him. I'm not sure he's going to be a sure thing in the NFL because there are traits that he seemed to be a one read and go guy. It depends on who gets a hold of him at the NFL level. So, GB, you're right. I don't think Mendoza is a home run quarterback at the next level, though he's definitely going first overall to the Raiders.
Yeah, just like I didn't think, Cam Ward was going to be a sure thing, and I didn't think that Bryce Young was going to be a sure thing either. I definitely don't feel like, Now, I'm surprised that Trevor Lawrence hasn't been better, if I'm being honest. I thought that he was going to be a little bit better, but I think that there's a variety of things that go with that. But yeah, drafting a quarterback is not as easy as the click of a button, like it is on Madden. Hitting the reset button. That's decisions that can cost you your job.
Listen, I was looking real quick on my other screen at the QB ratings. Bro, I mean, there's not a lot coming back out there, right? Hey, welcome, JJ. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate you. He agrees. There's not a guy that I'm like, I would pound the table for.
No.
I might look at this. Nussmeier, who's rated third in this draft buzz.
I think he's the only dude I would draft.
Yeah, if you're looking
like a day two, if you did a day two.
NFL projections, yeah. Day two, but maybe that last pick in the third round for the Steelers, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
99.
Cole Payton, he might be a project, but I just don't know enough. I don't watch North Dakota State games. Diego Pavia?
No.
I can't talk. No, I'm not. He's ranked 10th. I'm not doing him. Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier is a little skinny dude. Miller Moss from Louisville? No, way too inconsistent. Taylon Green from Arkansas.
I like his athleticism.
I love his athleticism.
6'6",
270, 227, and 4'3".
We might have some fun with him. I could draw up a couple things for that type of athleticism. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I'd take him so late that I wouldn't take him.
Yeah,
may make him into a running back. No, listen, I like his moxie. I love his attitude, his grittiness on the field. But at the NFL level, man, I don't like that too. Exactly. Pavi's like 5'8". He'd hit the lineman in the ass with a slam.
Yeah, he is little.
But you actually know who should take him? The Tennessee Titans. He's right in their backyard. I mean, right? I mean, they have an offense similar with Cam Ward and such. So, anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves with the quarterbacks because it's always a good thing to do. It's a good conversation piece. What's that?
They're all trash at the end of the day.
GB, what did you say when you reviewed Icy Light? It was trash. It's still trash, and it will always be trash.
Trash always.
That's what I feel like about this size.
It's trash and always will be trash. The end.
Man, listen, that's what I feel about this daggone QB draft, if you want. So let's put this aside for the draft. We're gonna have our mock draft coming up here. What is today's date anyway? This is the 30th.
30th.
So we are then 2 weeks away from our first mock draft. So next week, I really want to hit specific players in the draft that we spoke about: interior line, tackle, inside linebacker, some receivers. I'm going to try to work on some tape that I can show everybody that why I feel this guy would fit the Steelers system. And I think GB can do the same. He can definitely weigh in as well. So next week's Bird Cave episode will definitely be all about the players that we want to see the Steelers draft. It's who we want to see. We're not trying to predict these because I'm not trying to predict what Omar Khan will do anymore. I've been burned way too many times. Way too many times. So what GB and I want to do now here for the last segment of this show, we got two parts to this. If you are a Marvel fan like I am, GB is, others, you've seen the episodes What If. GB and I did a few episodes, and there is a what if playlist on the Bird Caves YouTube channel. We did what if the Steelers drafted Dan Marino. GB came up, what if the Steelers actually traded Ben Roethlisberger when there was that rumor that he would have went to San Francisco, right? We did
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, we did what if Willie Williams didn't go rogue and make that tackle against the Colts in the 95 championship game?
Yeah.
What if we didn't get Bettis? GB's got a scenario. I got a scenario. And we want everyone's help that's watching this to help us with comments and thoughts on what scenarios and left turns at Albuquerque per Bugs Bunny that these moves would have if they were to happen. GB's case is up first.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. So I want to take you back to the end of 2017 where the Steelers were coming off. Steelers were coming off a 13-3 record, should have been 14-2. Jesse James caught that ball. Ryan Shazier, God dog it.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of stuff went down in 2017, but the worst of the worst is that Ben Roethlisberger looked like shit in the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? And everybody gets excited about what he did in the second half. He helped us come back, but he put us in a damn position to begin with. That game was terrible, absolutely terrible. And he was at that time. He was going into his 14th season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
14th. Yeah.
Okay, and if you remember, in 2018, this Pittsburgh Steelers drafted in the 3rd round Mason Rudolph, and said he had a 1st-round grade.
Well, one person said that.
Kevin Colbert said he had a 1st-round grade. Kevin Colbert said it. GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers at the time. My counter argument to that was, well, if you got a quarterback you say had a 1st-round grade, why didn't you just draft the quarterback that actually had a 1st-round grade? And my question is, what if the Steelers decided in 2018 to start the changing of the guard and drafted Lamar Jackson instead of, y'all ready for this? Terrell freaking Edmonds.
Can I present 4 or 5 quick bullet points, and then I would like for you to continue, and anybody else that wants to weigh in on this. First off,
I actually have the roster from right before. Go ahead.
Real quick, GB, then I want you to go ahead and speak on this because, like I said, this was your what if.
Yep.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers still get Edmonds in the 2nd round. Ben retires.
We'll get into that.
I think Ben would have retired in 2019 because his feelings may have been hurt. I don't think they make the playoffs in 2019 because they finished 8-8 that year. So we're going to say that was an even wash. And obviously, we do not get Mason. And there's another bullet point that I have. I want to see where you're going with this, but it also is going to kind of roll into my what ifs. So still get Edmonds in the 2nd round. Ben retires in 2019. They still go 8-8. And obviously, Mason Rudolph is never a Steeler.
So exactly. And I'm with you 1,000%.
Okay.
On that, as far as if they were that high on Terrell Edmonds, he could have absolutely been had in the 2nd round, without a doubt. Okay, I was looking at the 2nd round, and I'll tell you some 2nd round guys, and I can tell you he can definitely have been had. The next DB that was actually taken in the 2nd round was Joshua Jackson, 45th pick, Green Bay Packers. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if memory serves me correctly, he was a corner. He was not a
he's
safety.
A corner.
Mm-hmm.
He was a corner.
MJ Stewart, Jesse Bates. Okay. Dante Jackson, corner. Duke Dawson, Isaiah Oliver, and then our pick at 60. We took, which I felt like was a reach at the time, even though he torched Pitt every time he played us. I think that's half the reason why the dudes picked these two dudes. Is because Oklahoma State was out here destroying Pitt.
Those 2 years, they destroyed them.
Good Lord. And James Washington, all 5'11" of them in long arms of him, he had one route. It was a go route. Combat catch. That was it. But, man, he did it so well against Pitt.
Mason Rudolph and James Washington was giving us Jeff Blake and Carl Pickens nightmares in college, man. I'm telling you.
So now we're looking at Lamar Jackson, and then if you did decide to take Terrell Edmonds instead of James Washington, or if you want to take James Washington, okay, that's all right. That's all right, because I believe that we took a receiver, because wasn't that right around the time that Martavis Bryant got that was kind of like the –
yeah, I think it was back-to-back years. Back-to-back years, you lost Bryant and maybe and then AB. That's when he kind of went cuckoo.
Yeah, because we had AB, Juju. Let me see, Martavis, Eli Rogers, Darius Hayward-Bay, and Justin Hunter. Good Lord.
There was one you're forgetting, and I'm glad you forgot.
Who's that?
Moncrief.
Oh, he was late. Yeah.
I think he is a late.
Did he even count? Yeah.
He don't count. I got better feet than he got hands, bro. I can catch with my feet better than he got hands.
So they decided to take, like I said, they take Mason Rudolph in the third round that year.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And by the way, this whole 2018 draft was absolutely abysmal.
It sucked too.
The only thing they have left is a backup quarterback in Mason Rudolph. That's the only thing they have left on this roster, in this draft. That's it.
So I'm looking here, GB, because I have the 2018 draft up here. So if Cheeks was there, right? Listen, here's what I just looked at, brother. If they would have taken Edmonds in the second round and passed up on Washington, you know who went a couple picks after Mason Rudolph's selection, which means he was there for the Steelers, was Michael Gallup.
Gallup.
That would have been pretty good.
That would have been all right.
His speed with Lamar as well.
And AB and Gallup. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Tommy. Now, again, I think as a rookie, he wouldn't have played, but maybe when he got his chance, he could have been. And again, it really depends on if they would have adjusted their offense slightly to Lamar. But yeah, I agree. He definitely wouldn't have had any bad years, I think, with him, coming into a stable organization. But I don't think Lamar would have done well with prior staff's inability to develop offensive players. Yeah, you may have a point.
I wholeheartedly disagree. And the reason why I wholeheartedly disagree is because you cannot teach that type of speed and that type of speed on and the one thing that people didn't realize when Lamar Jackson coming out of college was very, 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 very accurate. That dude could sling it, right? Mm-hmm. When you add those two things together, and he was throwing to Antonio Brown, he'd be throwing to Antonio Brown, yo. Can y'all think about that for a second?
So there's the thing too. By having Lamar Jackson, maybe Antonio Brown still goes cuckoo, but maybe he hangs around. I can't remember when he left. Was he gone in 18?
It was 19.
It was 18. His 19. Okay.
Yeah, because that's when 18 was when that was Juju's big year.
17 was his big year. His rookie year. 17. That's when he won. I think he got that MVP or so. I think as a rookie, or it might be his second year. I don't recall. Please, if anybody knows, keep us honest on this. I don't know. You might be right. It might have been 19.
Because he's like, go and ask Mr. 500 yards.
Because I thought he played. You know what? It was because he was only a rookie, but he played big plays. But still had Martavis Bryant. I'm thinking of the Jacksonville game with 2017 with that offense, and you still had Eli Rogers. So I think it was 2018. It was his big year.
Can we just admit that Terrell Edmonds was the absolute wrong pick? No captain Terrell Edmonds. He played a solid, decent, halfway decent safety, but in comparison to what you could have had,
he was a solid safety. But you know what? He was in position a lot, just didn't make plays, and that'd have been good for like a late second, early third rounder, not a first round pick. Considering what
Sean
you gave
Davis. We got Sean Davis in the second round.
Yeah.
And he
Sean
Davis was in the second round.
Yeah, and he was solid. He wasn't great, but he was solid. Yeah. So
we could have got him in the third.
Could have got Terrell Edmonds in a fifth. No, I'm kidding.
All right, which brings us up to your what if?
Oh, here we go.
With Lamar Jackson on the team.
Possible, but we're going to erase. We're going to get one of Hank Pym's little purple things and go back in time again. But the Steelers are really good for. We talked about the draft day trades for Jerome Bettis, and that really set the courses for Steeler history, really, with the running game and obviously the historical run to Super Bowl 40. But another big trade, what if happened, is what if in 2020 the Steelers did not trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick? Right? What if? Now, Minkah Fitzpatrick gave the Pittsburgh Steelers a handful of All-Pro years. I think 3 years, first team All-Pro, 5 Pro Bowls.
Year was outstanding.
His first year, he was the difference maker that first year, right? So, question: what could the Steelers have done instead of getting Minkah Fitzpatrick? Obviously, none of these moves would be as good as Minkah Fitzpatrick. Is this breaking news, or you just thought of something?
No, I'm looking at who they could have got.
Mm-hmm. All right, so. Let's look at the free.
I have no poker face whatsoever.
Hey,
I was like, what?
Listen, so this is why I picked this one to do it. So, what if the Steelers did not trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick? Who could they have got in the first? I'm sorry, as a free agent. So that year, the Steelers lost Sean Davis to the Redskins at the time, now Commanders, right, on a 1-year, $4 million deal. They re-signed Jordan Dangerfield, if you remember him, but it was more for special teams prowess, right? And they signed Curtis Riley from the Raiders. I don't know. It was a 1-year deal. Lord knows why they signed him. They could have signed someone like DJ Swearinger from the Redskins, who I think they obviously let go in favor of Sean Davis. Again, not a sexy pick. Michael Thomas or even Clinton Dix, right? Maybe it would have been the better of those three. They could have signed him. Not as good as Minkah, but they could have maybe signed them and drafted somebody short term. Now, if you remember, the big free agent that year, free safety, was Malcolm Jenkins when he went from the Eagles to the Saints, signed 4 years, $32 million. Eric Murray went from the Browns to the Texans for $18 million for 3 years. So that's a possibility with the free agency. Note that if you remember, the Steelers picked that year, pick number 49, they picked Chase Claypool. So they were in somewhat of the receiver market. Now, in the draft, out after Claypool was drafted, I just want to kind of paint this picture. The notable wide receivers that were drafted after Claypool that year were Juwan Jennings in the 7th round, Donovan Peoples-Jones in the 6th, Darnell Mooney in the 5th, and Gabe Davis in the 4th. Not necessarily a all-star crop of receivers, although Darnell Mooney is pretty good. Juwan Jennings, he's pretty good, but there's a reason he's still unsigned. So the Steelers hold on to their pick at number 18 that year. Here is a list of because they went wide receiver in the second round, and they could have signed a lesser free agent at safety and went wide receiver. GB, I think this was your face. Who went at pick number 21? Does anybody know who went at pick 21, which means the Steelers would have had him at 18? Would you want to give the bad news? You want me to?
On my database, it says pick 22.
I have it as
pick 21, and pick 21 is worse because it's the Eagles, and it's really, really, really bad.
So I looked it up. And I have it on Pro Football Reference.
It's really bad.
Pick 21 was Justin Jefferson.
That's who I had at 22. I don't know why this says 22 was Justin Jefferson.
Could you imagine the Pittsburgh Steelers, Justin Jefferson? Pick number 25 was Brandon Ayuk.
Yes.
Pick 33 was T. Higgins. Pick 34, it's irrelevant because we got him now, Michael Pittman Jr.
Imagine
and then pick 43 was Lavaka Shalot. He didn't turn out to be much. It's second round. If you didn't go after or you signed one of those lower free agents, Grant Delpit was picked at 42 by the Browns. Do you think the Steelers could have maybe made a trade with the Bears to move up to 41 and get Grant Delpit? You tell me that would have been a draft getting Justin Jefferson and Grant Delpit at the same draft. That
would have been a much better situation.
Right. Other safeties that went later in there was I think Jeremy Chin and Brandon Jones. They both played free and strong safety for their respective teams. So you could have got a safety later in the draft too. So you're going to lessen your defense, but the Steelers could have picked. What if they picked Justin Jefferson, and then you had Justin Jefferson? Now, probably what happens is. Juju's probably not re-signed in that 1 year, $8 million deal, right? And my notes cut off. I thought I had more notes on this. Oh well. And then you would have had, I don't know if AB might still want Cuckoo or not.
Yeah, Delpit and Antoine Winfield Jr.
Guys, could you imagine if the Steelers, or if AB goes Cuckoo and then you replaced him with Justin Jefferson? But you also would have had, I think what else? I'll try to remember what else I had on my notes because let me see if I actually pull it up on here because I thought I had more. Okay, here we go. So this is what the offense could have been. It didn't sync to my iPad here. You could have had Ben at quarterback, James Conner, Jalen Samuels at running back. Juju, Deontay Johnson, and Justin Jefferson at the wide receiver. James Washington, we'll say we still drafted him. Eli Rogers and Ryan Switzer, wide receiver 5, along with Vance McDonald and Xavier Grimble at tight end that year. The Steelers finished that year 12-4. If you remember, that was the 2020 year. They with that ugly loss to Cleveland, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if they have Justin Jefferson, they beat the Browns. But then would have went on to beat Buffalo?
Maybe.
Would they have beat Kansas City? Maybe. That's the year that Kansas City got their doors blown off in the Super Bowl by Tampa.
How many more years do you think Ben would have played if he'd had Justin Jefferson?
I don't know. I don't know.
He still might be playing.
He still might be playing.
For real. Like, he still might be fooling around, still playing.
Yeah. We should know that we tend to focus on bias towards the winners from the draft versus the dudes we avoided. Yeah, listen, we could do a zillion what ifs, but I saw this and I was thinking about doing these, Mr. Tommy. And I'm like,
conversations, though. I don't know about the Justin Jefferson conversation, but this is definitely conversations we was having about Lamar Jackson in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
There was 1,000% the conversations that were going down,
and the reason
because of where Ben was in his thing, and it wasn't like, yeah, we need to do it. No, that wasn't it. But it was like, well, it would, like, if they decided to do it, it would make sense just given where he was in his career at that time.
Yeah.
You know, how many hits he's taken, you know, at that time. Remember, he was getting stacked all the time and everything. So you just never knew how much longer he was going to have left. And sure enough, that elbow went on him.
Yep. And I'm taking mine a step further, GB. So let's say that the Steelers lose, they beat the Browns, and whether they get to the AFC Championship game or even if they get to the Super Bowl, I don't think they had to beat Tampa Bay that year in the Super Bowl. But the next year, the Steelers are going to be picking anywhere from 27 to 31. Okay. Is Najee Harris still there? Or do they get someone like Javonte Williams? Najee gone? Or are they going to go with more Benny Snell football? We don't know what they're going to do at the running back position, right? Is Pat Freiermuth a Steeler in the second round? Maybe he's not. I don't know. I can't remember or can't recall what happened to Vance McDonald. You know who else could have been a Steeler that year then? Does that mean Creed Humphrey is a Steeler late in the second round?
He might have been a Steeler in the first round.
He could have been a Steeler in the first round if they'd had that kind of record, right? You know that. You know if Creed Humphrey was a Steeler, you know who's not? Kendrick Green.
Man, Jesus.
Maybe they get Spencer Brown as a tackle in round 3 for the Bills. I looked all this up.
We were beating the drum for Kyle Trask.
I was. Whoops. Whoops. Hey, let's say, and you know what? Because we picked Edmonds, or we still have Edmonds, right? Do we then, does Kazee go to the Steelers instead of the Cowboys earlier at free safety?
Maybe.
You know, do you build, to your question, GB, how long does Ben play? Do you then try to keep with Creed and others, build up that offensive line? Could you imagine having Deontay? Then after that, you probably have Deontay and Justin Jefferson as wide receivers 1 and 2. Obviously, Jefferson being 1 and 2. Juju, again, is not here for that 1 year, $8 million deal. Washington is wide receiver 3, and Lord knows what happens. Maybe it's Switzer or Eli Rogers at 4. And you have a pretty formidable receiving core. You're basically going from AB to Justin Jefferson. You're losing out on Minka, but, man, you have what looks like to be a kick-ass offense.
Golly. There's some bad. You know, I think we're going to have to really dissect the Kevin Colbert. He was drunk, yo. Sorry. Hey, listen, I'm looking at some of these picks. I'm like, man, Kevin Colbert was drunk as shit in the meetings making these picks. I'm sorry, man. No. And y'all can't be putting that on my man Mike, because the reality is when Omar took over, the draft vastly improved. When Weidel and Omar Khan came in, the shit vastly improved after Colbert left. Because, dude, these are some hotmess.com drafts right here. And somehow, some way, Mike Tomlin managed to keep this team from not completely capsizing. I'm looking at these draft picks. I'm just like, golly.
Okay, this is awful. So 2019, Devin Bush turns out to be a decent player. I think he was a good player until he got hurt, and then he's kind of found himself a little bit in Cleveland. So good for him.
He's playing okay now. He's not playing terrible. He's playing okay. He's still in the league.
He is. Deontay is not. He was a second pick. Justin Lane. Oh. Benny Snell Jr. Isn't he like in that World Football League or some shit? Zach Gentry. Football. Zach Gentry, that 6'8" tight end, right? Sutton Smith, Isaiah Buggs.
We know what Zach Gentry is famous for?
Yeah, a lot of the pick guys in here will probably know that too. Ulysses Gilbert and Derwin Gray. That was just ass. Dude, 2018 and 2019 are more than forgettable drafts in the Steelers. Let's just hope 2026 is not a repeatable version of that. 2020 Chase Claypool, bust. Alex Highsmith, I think, is pretty good. Kevin Dotson ended up being, a good draft pick. Just they were playing him on the wrong side.
K-Dot is killing the game.
I had so much hope for Anthony McFarland as a running back from the kid from Maryland. I mean, he just never. I don't think he caught on anywhere either.
Do you remember that year the Dan Moore got drafted? It was Dan. They had Dan Moore and Kevin Dotson on the left side of the line in preseason, and they were moving people, and we were like, "Oh my goodness!
Like
they're about to be the future of this offensive line. They are physical." And then next thing I know, K Dot he fell out of grace for whatever reason, you know.
Yunzer. Also, one thing I'll give Colbert credit for, and maybe it's more Tomlin, they were good at finding undrafted free agents who play. You know what? It's a collectible. It's definitely a collectible blame and also credit. Now, what GB was saying was, people put 100% of blame on Tomlin for these drafts, and it's a little bit of blame. It's a blame on Colbert. It's a blame on Tomlin because, like he said, once Colbert was removed and Omar Khan and Waddle came in, guys, just go back and look at 2023, 2024,
2025,
and 2025. Right? Well, give me 1 minute. Let's run down these real quick. So we're going to start from.
And then I'll do 2022 to 2021.
And then we'll go 2022, right? So, look, last year, Derek Harmon, good. Caleb Johnson, jury's out. Jack Sawyer, all indications he's good. Y.A. Black, good. Will Howard, Big Rail's favorite player. He's yet to take a snap, but we'll see, right? Carson Bruner, special teams guy. He's Deontay Kent, he's still on the roster. It's special teams, practice squad guy, so we'll see. That was 7th round. Last year, Fuatanu, good. Zach Frazier, good. Roman Wilson, we'll see. Peyton Wilson, good. McCormick, good. Logan Lee, practice squad, we'll see. Ryan Watts, I think he's the guy from Texas that got hurt, and I think he's out of the league, right? Mm-hmm. Then 2023, Broderick Jones was trending up until he got hurt. Joey Porter Jr., obviously this man deserves the bag. I hope he gets it. Keanu Benton, good. Darnell Washington, good. Nick Herbig, good. Corey Trice would be good if he stays healthy. Spencer Anderson could be a starting guard. How many of those names that I read are bums? None. Now, 2022, Colbert's last year. Kenny Pickett is going to have a long NFL career, but he's going to be a backup. George Pickens, obviously world talent, but a knucklehead. And they're saying he may not show up for Dallas's off-season program, so good luck to Dallas. Marvin Leal, we'll see. Calvin Austin might be back. Connor Hayward, I think I was a solid pick. Mark Robinson, nah. And Chris Oladukin. He plays for the Chiefs now. Year before that, Najee Harris, I still think it was a good pick. Maybe not first rounder, but it was good. Pat Freiermuth, good. Kendrick Green, no. Dan Moore, obviously that was a good draft pick. He signed a big mega deal with Tennessee. Buddy Johnson,
nope.
I already forgot about him. Isaiah Loudermilk, bum. Quincy Roche, defensive lineman, nah. Trey Norwood, I thought was gonna be good. He didn't make it. And then we all know about Big Papa Punt, Presley Harvin. Look, by the way, same head coach in all those drafts. What changed? The front office. Now, granted, yes, they haven't won with those guys, but you're talking about the talent is there. A lot better talent in the last 3 years since Khan and Waddle. So I'm hoping that the trend continues for 2026, but we will see.
I'm just going to put it this way. Let's just talk about the deals they made on draft day. I mean, hell, we got Minka, right, for a first-round pick.
Right.
Solid, right?
Yeah.
But we also traded up to get Devin Bush, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at 2020, because we got Minka that year, we didn't have a first round pick, But we did have a second-round pick named Chase Claypool. Now, the reason why I'm bringing him up is because the ultimate fleecing of picks was due to Chase Claypool. I don't know what Omar Khan said to the GM in Chicago. Said he the one. I don't know what he said, but
he got
for
something
him
on
to
him,
get
bro.
a 30-second, and there was a 30-second that year because somebody lost a pick in the first round. Somebody lost a pick, so it was supposed to be a second-round pick. The first pick of the second round ended up being technically a first-round pick because it was a 30-second pick, which turned into Joey Porter Jr. So not only did you fleece the team, you then backed it up with an outstanding acquisition.
Yeah.
Your future lockdown for the next 10 years.
Yep. All that to say, in closing, as we round up here, we're going on an hour and 15. We'll wrap up here. Is the draft is really a crapshoot, but the trend is upward with the Steelers with Omar Khan and Andy Weidel, and I trust what they're going to do. It's fun to throw our opinions around who they should draft and this and that. Excuse me. Obviously, every year quarterbacks are going to come up, and I get it. I think the Steelers are going to play the long game, and you might be prepared to not have a sexy name drafted in the first round because the Steelers are not interested in winning today. They're interested in winning in the long term. Now, but they have the most draft capital they've had in, I think, 25, 26 years. They could go up and get their guy and then set themselves up possibly for the quarterback draft next year because you could always mortgage the future, if you will, like a future one in the following year to go get your guys. Maybe it's a 2028 first rounder and such. They go if they need to get a quarterback in 2027.
Yeah, man. 3 3s, 2 4s, 2 6s, and 2 7s. Good
That's
Lord.
a lot of
and then the 6s are 2 14 and 2 16. So they're one, another dude, then the team picks, then it's us again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's nice. There's a lot of flexibility, and the draft is deep.
7 of the first 135.
It's a lot of flexibility.
Strong.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And you know what? When the draft is here in Pittsburgh, man, it's a good time to be down there. I'm going to be down there. GB will be down there and such.
I'm going to be down there.
Man, I hope we see a lot of people down there as well, too. But in closing, GB, any last thoughts here on the draft? Anything else pop in your head about the 2 what-ifs we spoke about? Or what the Steelers should do with those top picks like we talked about tonight?
No, I'm expecting them to set up with 12 picks. Obviously, you're not gonna. 12 dudes aren't gonna make the team.
No.
So early. What are we about 30 days away? Early, yep. I'm gonna say right now that I think that they're gonna move up and get a dude. They're gonna move up and get. They have a target in mind, and it might be a receiver. It might be Carnell Tate.
Omar.
It might be Omar. It might be Omar. Maybe Jordan Tyson. It could be. There's a lot. I think that they're gonna want to get. I think they're gonna move up to get either a dude like a Carnell Tate, or I think they're gonna move up and get a explosive middle linebacker like Sonny Styles. If they can get him. 6'5", he's a big boy. That's a big. You said for the rest of the that's a big man moving very fast with bad intentions.
And if he plays in the middle, like you said, I mean, he could play in some sub packages his rookie year and take over for PQ next year.
That ain't no Devin. Hey, that ain't no Devin Bush 5'10". Well, you ain't moving up for no Devin Bush. You know what I'm saying? This is a grown ass man, bro.
Let me ask you this in closing, because this is definitely more for next week, though. But with Tyson, obviously, I know the talent's there at receiver.
Whew.
Do the medicals scare you?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Gonna get him his own room at UPMC.
I'm on the Tyson train.
I would agree. He reminds me a little bit of George Pickens. The way he can like torque his body and do some athletic things, man. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he just seems to make dudes miss. Yeah, I mean, I like him, and obviously he's
a good dude, and he's a good high character guy too, man. You ain't gonna have to worry about.
Could you just imagine?
About none of that.
Hey, the jump balls between DK, Tyson, and Pittman, man. That's
Jesus.
And then Washington and Freiermuth, they're gonna have they could go play in the NCAA tournament, man.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I'm personally on the Tyson train, but it wouldn't surprise me if McCarthy and them decide to change the game, and because the corners are getting longer, so the receivers can also get longer, as well. So the counterpunch to longer receivers longer corners. And D-backs is longer receivers, and you got a lot of 6'5" dudes out here right now that can 6'4", 6'5" dudes that can do some things. How many teams you seen with 3 6'4" dudes out there?
I was gonna say, you know what? I'm thinking about it. Humphrey's getting old, but he's 6'1", I think, right? Wiggins is 6'1", but he's skinny. Denzel Ward is a top 3 or so corner, but he can't cover everybody. The Bengals.
Rick Woolen 6'3".
6'3", yeah. Mm-hmm. Who did he just go to?
Imanwara is 6'4".
Yeah.
6'3", 6'4". He's a combo. He can do either or.
Yeah.
That's the future, though. Seattle.
Yeah. Seattle. And then, by the way, too, the Steelers that they brought I'm gonna look into these guys for next week too. Is they brought those 2 guys from the University of Washington that are both 6'2", 6'3", respectively, or one of them might be 6'4". They had 2 long corners as well.
Yeah.
That you could get in here to help play, because you got Eccles and Sante Samuel Jr. only on 1-year deals, so you may need to get some depth that way too. So, but man, there's a lot of options, man. A lot of options.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching these 3 days of draft, and I do believe we're going to be very excited coming out of the draft, moving forward, getting into the OTAs and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Got a feeling Mike McCarthy ain't come here for no bullshit. Let me tell you. Listen. Anybody who is anybody that has coached any type of football, I just want you to listen. Like, you're not going to come to the Steelers and lay no damn eggs, bro. I'm sorry.
Not when it's your hometown team.
Me and Dudek go down there right now, and I promise you, we will get you. We'll get you 7 wins. We'll get you 7 wins. Damn it, 8 wins just because. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be damned if I'll be damned if I was a coach in my hometown and I got 2 wins. Are you what? I can never go home. Like, no, you're not. So Mike McCarthy did not come here to go 10-7. I'm just telling you, he did not come here to go 9-8. He came here to come here. He came here to make a statement. Get him a chip, maybe 2, and get the hell out.
Yeah, I'm
telling you. And the tea leaves is showing exactly what we've been saying, man.
He wants this to be his last job too.
Yeah,
so,
he's 60. What?
You know what McCarthy reminds me of, dude? When we were younger, when the Steelers would lose the game on Sunday, how many times did you get on PlayStation just to go whoop someone's ass in Madden just because they lost? Like, I'm gonna make them up. I'm gonna go and play this team. I'm gonna whip their ass on PlayStation 1, by the way, or maybe 2. But that's McCarthy. McCarthy's like, you know what? Damn it, I'm gonna come in here. And I think that's also why he probably, I don't know how many offers he legitimately had while he was off last year, but there was rumblings that people inside the league knew that Tomlin was going 2 years ago. So it's kind of wondering that McCarthy didn't take a job because, hey, I'm going to go sit here and at least have an opportunity to interview with the Steelers. So again, it's all hearsay, but I heard your boy, what's the dude on Fox? I'm just drawing a brain fart.
Glazer?
Jay Glazer. He's saying that Tomlin leaving was boiling for 2 years. So there had to have been people inside the league, maybe except for the Rooneys, they're probably just lying. Like the Rooneys are politicianing themselves in the press conference. That Tomlin was leaving for 2 years. So this whole thing could have been boiling. We're like, listen, we're going to we got 2 years to try to build this up, and then if I get the job, this is what we're going to do. And I think, listen, part of it's a fandom speaking. It's wishful thinking, and I wish they can go out there and run it. But there's also part of me that looks at it football logically, and it's making a lot of sense. But we just got to see. They listen. This is the off season. They're going to have to do it once they hit the field, and it also starts with the 23rd here in Pittsburgh with the draft. So next week we're going to look at the players who we like, give you guys some options that we think at each position as we build our strategy towards our mock drafts and back-to-back weeks on the 13th and the 20th. So that is a show for this evening. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. GB especially, take the time, find out where you can find yourself on your new socials, brother. The new and improved socials, because we have a jackass out there on the Twitters trying to take over people's accounts, yours and Mr. Lindsay. Just taking people
jackass.
over, man.
Come on, man.
Jackass. Where can they find you, Ben?
It's because I'm black, isn't it? I'm just playing. You can find me on X at your_boy_GB1. Also find me on Twitter at your_boy_GB, and also on Instagram as well. Come on, tune in. Good times.
Absolutely.
Good times.
And if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps the channel grow. Share it. Like we say with JJ as well, don't be a host. Share the show.
Don't be a hoe.
Man, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Stop by. See us next week when we talk about specific players. And maybe we'll take Mr. Tummy's suggestion and do a what if about the players we avoided.
Ooh. Okay.
We can maybe take a look at that. We'll do maybe a what if with that scenario. So, GB, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us this evening. And we will see everybody on the next one. Go Steelers. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. End the stream.